So my name is Michael Miltenberger. I'm the member for Expansion. I'm also the Deputy Premier, House Leader, Minister of Finance, Minister of Environment and Natural Resources, and Minister of Health and Social Services. There's a whole number of things that affect our lives. If you look around us, as you look around your own community, if you do a mental checklist of what's happening, there's things that are tied into our communities, what's happening to people, health issues in the communities, education issues, or even environmental issues that affect our lives. This slide here just gives you a bit of a graphic of some of the very many things that we hear about, and that when you're an MLA, people are going to ask you about, what are you going to do about addiction? What are you going to do about the environment? I have a health problem. What are you going to do to help me fix it? I got problems at school. My grandchildren are losing their language. What are you going to do to fix it? The government of the Northwest Territories, of which you are members of now, have a role in all these areas and more. We have over $1.3 billion budget, and it's spread across 33 communities, 1.4 million square kilometers, or thereabouts. We spend over $300 million a year on health and social services, almost $300 million a year on education, culture, and employment, just to name two of our biggest departments. MLAs can't do everything by themselves. As you look at the work and the issues that are there in your communities, in your constituencies, you've got to ask the question, how do we do this? How do we fix things? How do we, and can we fix things? Is it the job of MLAs to fix everybody's problem? Is it the responsibility of people to look after their own basic health and make some right choices? So as you look at that, some of the most immediate things are related to our physical health and our wellness, or the wellness of our constituents, of our families. And once again, just think in your communities about some of the things. Northerners have a tremendous capacity to engage in activities that are bad for them. For example, smoking is a real yucky habit. It's very expensive. It leaves an awful mess. It gives people lung cancer, it aggravates asthma and bronchitis, it causes pregnant mothers to have low birth weights with their babies. Secondhand smoke kills people. There's not a lot of nice things that can be said about smoking. We have a tremendous capacity, prodigious almost, for doing drinking, especially alcohol, probably one of the worst, and other drugs that are now coming into the north, in addition to the marijuana and the ecstasy and the crack cocaine and those type of things. But the one that's the easiest to obtain that's legal if you're old enough is alcohol. And it's a huge problem. This little headline just talks about binge drinking. If you went to the jail here in Yellowknife or here or in Fort Smith, probably 90% of the people that are in jail are there because of alcohol-related activities. They were doing something that involved alcohol. When you go to the family shelters, where there's abuse, family violence issues, you'll find that in just about every one of those cases, alcohol was a factor that resulted in the family requiring to have to go to a shelter and leave their home. If you look around, there's still, and all you young folks, young ladies especially, there's still a tremendous number of young people, young women that acknowledge they drink when they're pregnant. And that causes fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, which permanently damages your baby and prevents it from having a full functioning life as a normal human being. They have all the challenges related with that particular condition gives you when you're born, and it's something that it's permanent. There's no cure. There's no way to turn back the clock and make your baby healthy. We have things, once again, when we make choices, we travel too fast on snowmobiles, we wheel around in our vehicles without simple things like seatbelts on, we drink when we drive, and we're under other influences when we drive. I can tell you as health minister now, and when I was in health minister in the past, there's any number of events, of situations, mainly with young people, that are now in facilities because they're paraplegic, quadriplegic, brain damaged, because they've been in accidents, usually at high speeds, vehicles, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, all tied into personal choices, bad choices, that result in permanent impairment, sometimes death. But it's, I think some people would suggest that it's even worse if you're a young person and you're going to spend the rest of your life as a quadriplegic or a paraplegic in a wheelchair, all because of a mistake you made in one incident where things went wrong that you never thought would go wrong but did. There's things we know that we should do more of, like getting off the couch, going outside, exercising, taking part of all the very many activities just about every community has, either with facilities that are there, or just because we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we have access to tremendous outdoor activities almost in every community, on the water, on the land, in the winter, in the summer, in the fall. There's things to do in addition to playing indoors. But Northerners have a very bad habit. You smoke, you drink too much, you use alcohol and drugs, you don't exercise, which causes, and we don't have the right diet, which is the next slide. We don't have the right diet. And those four things cause, I would suggest to you, about 80% of health problems that we as Northerners experience. And all those four are very simple personal choice issues. Don't smoke, don't use alcohol, exercise, and have a proper diet. We have an enormous fondness for pop, chips, all the food that's bad for us. How many spoons of sugar in a can of pop?
39.
Wow. I don't know what kind of pop you're drinking, but I would stop that. It's about 10 or 12 spoons of sugar. So if you have a cup of coffee, you take one bag, two little cubes of sugar. So you imagine you have a glass like that, and you take 10 spoons of sugar. And some people drink that. In fact, I've seen some of my colleagues here before we moved out to pop, who drink 6-8 pop a day. So it's just a pop alone. One of the things we're finding with poor diet, lack of exercise, we have a tremendous number of people that experience and require dialysis, which means your kidneys aren't working right, and you have to go in 3 times a week when it gets that bad. It starts with diabetes, it starts with and these other things where you have to have the blood in your body flushed out 3 times a week. It takes about 4 hours, and your whole life from there on in is you're tied to a dialysis machine wherever you go. All, once again, tied to personal choice issues. One of the other ones in the north where we have behaviors that cause us problems way above the national average is sexually transmitted diseases because of unprotected sex. And it's a huge issue, especially among young people. You don't think about it, there's pregnancies, and then there's the disease issue. And it's very easily spread, and once again, we have the unenviable reputation of being way above the national average. That talks about our health, our personal health, the health of our family members, of our community members, of our